Hello travelers, and welcome to a new video. Today's my last day in Warsaw, Poland, and I'm in the center of the heart of the tall building district. It's pretty impressive. Look at all these tall buildings here. If I told you that this was an American city, you would probably believe me without revealing that it's Warsaw, Poland. It's quite impressive. They've gone for a very new style here. These are very new architecture. This one here is particularly striking, and even in the distance we have some more. Beautiful district here. We're not too far from the very center of town. Today I'm going to be taking you to the Old Town, the Warsaw Old Town. I'm heading there now. It's going to be interesting. Definitely seeing this new and then comparing it to the old architecture. Look at the entrance to this one. It has like a split design. The architecture here is quite amazing. I'm not used to seeing too much new architecture in Spain, but here we have it in Warsaw, Poland. How about this? Just all around me. In fact, the architecture here is nicer than Detroit, where I'm from. We have some tall buildings, but they're not very new like this. This is super impressive. You've got to give it to the Polish people. There's a lot of growth going on here in Warsaw. So near all these big buildings, I was crossing the street and I saw something on the ground here. And it says Ghetto Wall 1943. And this wall here is a fragment. And there's some information in English. It says Ghetto Wall 1943. By order of the German occupation authorities, the ghetto was cut off from the rest of the city on November 16, 1940. The ghetto area surrounded by a wall was initially 307 hectares, 759 acres. With time, it was reduced. Starting in January 1942, it was divided in two parts called the large and small ghettos. Approximately 360,000 Warsaw Jews and 90,000 from other towns were herded into the ghetto. Nearly 100,000 died of hunger. During the summer of 1942, the Germans deported and murdered close to 300,000 people in the gas chambers of Treblinka. On April 19, 1943, an uprising broke out in the ghetto. Until mid-May, fighters and civilians perished in combat or in the systematically burned ghetto buildings. The remaining population was murdered by Germans in November 1943 in the Majdanek, Poniatowa, and Travniki concentration camps. Only a few survived. To the memory of those who suffered, fought, and perished, the city of Warsaw, 2008. Here stood a ghetto entrance that was in operation for the entire period of the ghetto's existence. And here's what it used to look like. I guess that is the size of it. Absolutely fascinating history. And it was just here, out in the open. No one is stopping, no one is looking. It's almost hidden, in fact. It's almost hidden, in fact. Look at this. There's no tourists here. Probably most people don't even know this exists. It was just a small little section on Google. So that's all that's left of the ghetto. And now look at it. It's been transformed. I'm looking across the street, and that corner over there is where the ghetto wall is. So I'm not sure if this is part of the original structure, but the side of this looks like the similar brick. So maybe that was the entrance to the ghetto. You just have to look around when you're traveling, and you never know what you're gonna find. You never know what you're gonna find. So I'm on my way to the Old Town. I just decided to walk it. It's about a 50-minute walk from where I was. There's some kind of old theater here. And they have this old, looks like tram car. And then across the street you have this very interesting church with a very high steeple. So it says something about the theater. Maybe these were the people, or maybe they are the people in the theater. And this is the Warsaw City Hall we're looking at here. So I'm passing on the way to the old town, and next door is supposed to be some kind of theater. And across the street we have this very modern looking building here, very beautiful also. And this is the Palace of the Ministry, also very nice. I know the presidential palace is also in this area somewhere, so we're gonna head back to the old town and maybe we'll try to find the presidential palace later on. So there's some kind of palace here. We are getting close to the old town now. It's called the Stare Miasto in Warsaw in Polish. Some artwork here. Prezbendowski Palace, built in 1727, from 1768 to 1831, property of the Kasowski family, rebuilt after 1863 for Jan K. Zawica. I'm steps away now from the Old Town Square, only a 5-minute walk now. And there's a palace here. This is called the Palace of the Four Winds. How about this? So there's a palace here. And there's a gate. They look like fairies almost. They have wings. So quite interesting. Maybe that's where it gets its name, obviously. The Four Winds. It could be a poor translation also. It could be the four, like, fairies or something, or maybe there's not an English equivalent. That happens sometimes. So we're definitely seeing the architecture change here. This is more of the older style, and of course we are in the old town. We are very near the old town square. It's called the Stare Miasto, and we are on Długa. So that L with the line through it is a W sound in English. Took me a while to learn that. It looks like we're passing another palace here. So a lot of palaces in this area. Take a look there. This is actually an institute. Polskie Academy Nauk. So maybe a former palace turned into an institute. And here we go. We are close to the main part of the old town here. So we can see some new architecture over here. Looks like some old over there. Definitely new here. So we've got a mixture. It's quite nice. I like how they've mixed the old and the new. They've done a spectacular job here in Warsaw. Looks like there's some kind of memorial here. So not a bad day at all. A little bit windy, but not too bad. So definitely a huge memorial there to the soldiers, probably from World War II. We're gonna have to take a look at that. So the first thing we see is this large church here, it looks like. Very beautiful. How about this? This is definitely some of the soldiers, and they're saving a baby. That is an intense scene there. And then we have, looks like one of the people from the church, obviously a priest. And this must be some kind of museum. That is fabulous. Look at this. Absolutely fabulous memorial here. You can't do better than that. Cannot do any better than that. Wow. It's so lifelike. Look at them. They're charging into battle. Brave Polish soldiers. Look at that gun. That is quite detailed too. something written on this wall here. It says Powstanie Warszawskie 1944. So obviously the time of World War II. Krasinskich Nowe Miasto, which is the old town, I believe, and this is the square. And this man was a pilot, 1912 to 2000. He lived a long life, 88 years. Yes, I was told about this. This is the Museum of the Uprising, the Warsaw Rising. Maybe the journey for freedom. Looks like an archive. Stare Miasto. So we are in the old town now. Is this what Warsaw used to look like? How about that? Wow. That's almost, to me, it registered an image of like old Paris or something. But that is Warsaw, I guess. This one says pierogi, and we've got one that I like, the soup and the bread bowl. I love that. Zurich the Lebie. How about that? I wonder if the food is good here or it's just a tourist trap. I really don't know. So quite a few places to eat here. Quite a few places to eat. It says since 1958. I did eat in the old town in Poznan one time, and it was quite good, the food. It was right in the old town, and back then it was quite cheap. That was a little over 4 years ago. Showing the beer. Oh, I had that the other day, the Bigos. How about the architecture there? Got some interesting artwork on this building. And right over here it turns into new apartments. I find that quite funny, actually. Police van going through here. So you can see all the colors, different colors on the buildings. Another Zapiec. Maybe I said it right that time. Sometimes when you stop trying and you just let it flow, the words come better. I was nervous trying to speak Spanish, and then I would have difficulty, and then when I was just relaxed with my friends and I didn't care, when I was learning, then I would speak, like I would say some things that, like, my friends were kind of shocked. They're like, where did you hear that? I'm like, I don't know, I just picked it up. So when you're relaxed, your brain operates better, I think. We have this large church here. Hopefully there's some information in English. Oh, it looks like the door's open. Maybe we can go inside. So let's take a look inside. It's not overly ornate inside, but it is nice. But I respect that. You don't need overly ornate church. It's about religion, actually. That's the idea. So we're definitely in the food part. So you can definitely get something to eat here, and I don't think the price was that high. There's a bar here. So we're gonna have to wing it without my phone. I'm not sure where I'm going, but that's actually sometimes the best. I like to just explore anyway. We're selling some Polish souvenirs here. So we're here. So look at this. We're seeing the wall that once protected the old town. Keep in mind that this was all destroyed during World War II. It was leveled to the ground, and they rebuilt this whole old town here in Warsaw. Warsaw was badly affected by the war. So it looks like there's still a lot to see here. And even over here. And you can walk along the wall here. How about that? That is quite nice. So it looks quite beautiful from here. What a great place to come and relax in Warsaw, to enjoy it. I think the locals, they like to come to the old town too. Why not? And you've got houses here too, or apartments, people living here. Living in the old town of Warsaw, Poland. And we should get a view up here. Wow, I'm quite impressed here. You get a fantastic view from here. Got a group of Polish kids, it looks like, here behind me. So getting a lesson about the old town, apparently. And I just heard some girls speaking Spanish, so maybe they're with that group, maybe they're exchange students. So here we have the Slovak flag here. Look at this. So people living here, actually. Looks like people living here in part of the old town. This is fabulous. This is very cool. I love these streets. Definitely brings you back in time walking these streets here in Warsaw, or the locals call it Warszawa, in the Stare Miasto, the old town. It looks like we're coming up to the square, maybe the old town square. Okay, it looks like I found something. I found something here. Yes, it's the Old Town Square. Here it is. The Old Town Square. Look at this. How about this? Look at that building. It has the gold trimming there. So welcome to the Old Town Square in Warsaw, Poland. Completely rebuilt after the war. You can see that they are taking advantage, having a lot of restaurants here. I'm sure they're quite good. A lot of people here. And there's the Polish beer, of course. We've got the Ukrainian flag, the Polish flag, and you've got the rainbow flag there, representing a lot of things there. It's quite beautiful, quite impressive. Gotta admire it. It is very nice. What a place to sit and have a coffee or a beer or something to eat. And I was actually here before. I was here a little over 4 years ago. And I don't think the weather was this good. So great to be back in the Old Town Square in Warsaw. So it's actually pretty warm in the square. We don't have much wind here. It's quite nice. We have this fantastic sculpture here of a female warrior. And then we can see the square. I'm gonna do a 360 going around. I wonder if you can stay right in the square. That must be very nice if you can. There's a museum here. It says the Museum Warszawie, Warsaw Museum. And here, this is quite interesting. It shows, learn about the history of the Old Town reconstruction. So that's what it looked like. How about that? That's what it used to look like. And how about how it looks now? Fantastic job of reconstructing the city. There's one with a bird. There's a horse coming through here. I guess they have horse rides also, horse carriage. I'm gonna try to walk this way now. And once you get out of that square, wow, the wind starts to hit you from here. So let's go this way. There's a hostel here, hostel and apartments. It's pretty nice actually. It's probably not cheap though. Stay right near the old town square. And we have a bell here. Some beautiful design work. 1646 is the date. Wow. They just have it out in the open here. How about that? Unless it's a reproduction. If you come to Warsaw, you need to visit the Old Town. I think it's mandatory. There's some English there. Today, Chopin concert, 14-euro ticket. So walking around this church here, it's quite large also. Walking tour behind me. So walking tour behind me.
owned by the state. So it's actually ordinary people who can bring in their cars here if they have a permit. We are standing by and walking through.
Look at this church. This is the most fabulous church I've seen yet, for sure. We can go inside, it looks like. Concerts here as well. Ooh, look at the door. Polish Eagle. Like a half fish man. There's a group of Polish kids there came with a teacher. She's teaching them something about the building, the door. So that main church was just fascinating. I walked down a side street, I'm onto another street here. And according to that man that was talking, there's people that live here in the old town. So you have to be respectful of them. So I actually walked down this alleyway here. You can go between. And there's another church here. There's another church here. Take a look, it's quite fabulous also. The door was open a minute ago. Or maybe they just closed it. The guy said that the locals are allowed to drive down these streets. You see a car here. Just a piece of rock. So what would it be like to live in the old town? That must be quite fascinating. And I think we might be coming up to a palace, a Polish palace. And there's more to see, so stay tuned. We'll come to another square. Zamkowi, I believe, is the name of this square. And I believe that this is the Polish palace. I wish I had my phone right now, but I'm sure you can tell me in the comments. I remember being here actually. I was actually here before, but it's been a long time. And the last time I had a guide, I don't have a guide today. Quite beautiful. So this is a very large plaza here. This is bigger than the other plaza. I hope I got the plazas right. It's quite beautiful here. So if you come to the old town, there is a lot to see here. Be prepared to stay for at least 3 or 4 hours minimum, I would say, to see everything. It looks like there's a stadium over there, maybe. And I know we can go this way too. I remember there was a clock this way. This was well worth it today. I'm so glad that I came to the old town. I'm happy you could come with me on my last day here in Warsaw. And I know this won't be my last time in Warsaw. It's a really nice city. I have to come back. I'm sure there's a lot more that I missed. We save it for the next time. And that train I'm taking tomorrow, I'm going to Wrocław, and I got the train pretty cheap for 52 zloty, and it's like 4.5 hours. So it's only about $14 or $15, I think. So it's pretty cheap. So here is a plan of the complex, the old town. You can see. So there was once a wall around the old town. You can see this is Jan Zaczwatowicz. He was the architect of the rebuild of Warsaw. So thank you, sir. You did a fantastic job rebuilding Warsaw. That was a monumental task. So bring some good footwear, because this row of cobblestones does not feel very well on your feet. Luckily I have some good walking shoes on. There's an outdoor restaurant behind me. The price didn't look too bad there. So I remember coming this way. There's definitely something to see over here. I believe there's a clock. So here's the clock I was talking about. So I guess basically it's just showing the different astrological signs. Basically, that's what it looks like. So we're not done yet with the video. On the way out, there's this huge church. I believe it is a church. Look at this. Absolutely grand. And then next door is the presidential palace. So this is a presidential palace here. Look at this. Wow. We've got the lions. Lions are quite popular as a guard. Look at this. That is a huge palace. We've got guards here, of course. Oh, don't worry. There's a little boy trying to get into the palace. He's running with his mother there. So absolutely gorgeous to see the palace. And then on the other side, guys, we've got something going on here. So I think we're gonna wrap it up here with the palace behind me. How about that? The presidential palace is right near the old town as well. So see you in the next video. A travel addict guy. Take care, everyone.